Welcome back to the Barrel Zone. Sorry for connection issues. We are running a few minutes late, but everything should be fixed right now. So we are rolling through the slate, full card MLB breakdown, and then we are talking about both NBA games. Pretty good card in the MLB. I think we are going to have a few wagers. If you want to tell my wagers, you can go to patreon.com/thebettors and join the Discord channel. If you have any feedback, you know where to find me. All right, let's jump in as we are running a bit behind. First game on the board, Pittsburgh at the Nationals, JT Brubaker and John Lester. The game is a pick'em. I absolutely agree with this. This should be a pick'em game. The formula is really easy here. The Pittsburgh Pirates are not a good team on the offensive end, but JT Brubaker has been a stud. While on the other end, Lester he's a bad pitcher, but the Nationals are the better offense here. So one team has a pitching edge, one team has an offensive edge. I agree with the line. Lester, the underlying numbers have been real ugly. His Sierra is above 5. He has almost a 10% walk rate. Righties holding 340 WOBA and the 5.5 FIP against him. Brubaker 3.5 Sierra. He has an above average swinging strike rate, ground ball rate above league average. Walk rate only 5%, only gives up 31% hard contact. So yeah, I really like Brubaker. If this was any other team than the Pirates, I would be likely backing them. But I agree with the line. This is a pick'em game. You just don't know which version of John Lester will show up, but it's likely the bad version. The question is that if the Pirates can make contact and hit him or not. Next game, Jake Arrieta, Peterson, Cubs, Mets. This is an interesting one. The game is off the board. I expect the Mets to reopen as slight favorites. I make them minus 127. The early lines on different books have been kind of weird, but I think we will show an edge on the Mets. It's not easy to back Peterson. He is coming off a 2-inning outing, gave up 4 earned runs against Baltimore, only 4 Ks. He gave up at least 3 earned runs in 4 straight starts. The walks have been an issue. But overall, he's one of the biggest positive regression candidates in the league. He has a 6.3 ERA, but a Sierra under 4. So almost like 2.5 runs of differential between his ERA and his Sierra. He has a 52% ground ball rate, a 12% swinging strike rate, but he has been getting extremely unlucky. 336 batting average on balls in play, 28% home run to fly ball ratio. 62% left on base rate. So yeah, Peterson should be better on paper, although as I said, it's a bit risky to back him. But I really want to fade the Cubs. The Cubs have been getting extremely lucky lately, especially on the road. And Jake Arrieta is not a guy I'm afraid of fading. He has a 7.9% swinging strike rate. His contact rate is above 80%. His hard hit rate almost 40%. He allows a 380 WOBA on the road to opposing hitters. So yeah, I hope we get something closer to a pick'em, but I will be backing the New York Mets here very likely. Baltimore, Cleveland, Creamer at Maya. Creamer is not confirmed yet, but the beat writer said that he's very likely to pitch here. A game is off the board. He has been kind of underwhelming. 38 innings sample size for Dean Creamer of Baltimore. He has an 80% plus contact rate, pretty high line drive rates against both sides. 350 WOBA on the road, 390 WOBA against both sides of the plate. His walk rate is above 9%. So he's kind of like a known good. And on the other end, Mejia is like the unknown for Cleveland. He only has 8 innings in the MLB. We've seen some good. He has some ground ball stuff. Doesn't give up too much hard contact. Swinging strike rate around league average, a bit better. But he has walk issues, and the sample size is just really low on him. So I expect Cleveland to open up as a sizable favorite still. I mean, they are at home. They have a decent bullpen. They can back the youngster up if things go south. On the other end, I mean, Creamer will likely just screw this one up. So I expect Cleveland to open up around minus 150. If we get a better line, I would be gladly backing the Indians here. I don't really believe in Creamer, and I know that the Indians are not a good offense, and laying big prices with them is not like likely plus CV. But this is a good spot in my opinion overall. Looking at the opponent, Toronto, Boston, Manoa at Eovaldi. Similar situation to the Pittsburgh Nationals game. But here, Eovaldi is the better pitcher and Toronto is the better team. We've seen the Red Sox, if you look at just the most basic offensive stats in the last few weeks, they have been struggling against good pitching. They have faced a few better pitchers finally after facing the Orioles in their first 20 games, like 15 times or something. So yeah, the offense is not good. I think they will just fall off a cliff. Toronto's underlying numbers are way better, but Eovaldi has been pitching really well overall. He's coming off a bad outing against Houston, but he has a 3.8 Sierra, 12% swinging strike rate. He only gives up 25% hard contact, 5.5% walk rate. He has been pitching really well at home also. So yeah, I really like Eovaldi. I think he's a fine pitcher. Manoa, on the other end, he has only 14 innings in the MLB. He's off a good outing, but the underlying metrics are not that good. He gives up almost 40% hard contact. His walk rate is almost 12%. And he has been getting lucky with an 87% left on base rate, just a 200 betting average on balls in play. So yeah, I would like to back Eovaldi, but I would like to back Toronto. So I'm staying off this. I agree with the line. I make this Boston minus 120. So yeah, no edge either way. Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Gutierrez, lower laying minus 150 is really a joke. Guy has been in and out of the bullpen, coming off a 4-inning outing with 6 Ks, 2 earned runs. He has been good, but he walked 4. He's missing bats, but he gives up almost 43% hard contact. The line drive rates are really high, especially against lefties. He has a 380 WOBA against at home, 28 innings pitched so far this season. So yeah, Lauer is not a guy I would like to lay like minus 150s with, especially with Milwaukee offensively. They have been bad against righties. If you look at team stats, they have an 83 WRC plus against righties, 26% K rate. Gutierrez for Cincinnati, coming off a 7-inning outing, only 2 earned runs. The problem is that we don't really have too much of a sample size of him pitching in the majors or anywhere really. The thing we can see is that in 2019 he pitched 140 innings, which is a pretty big sample size in AAA, and he had an ERA over 6. So I think that's built in this line that Gutierrez has been bad. I know it has been 2 years ago, but it's a pretty big sample size, and his Sierra here so far this year is above 5 as well. His contact rate is pretty high. So yeah, I think the market is expecting a regression from him. And that's why the Brewers are this big of a favorite, but I'm not going to get involved with this. Tampa Bay at the White Sox, Glass now at Lynn. We have bet the under here. Under 7.5 is my pick here. I think that's the strongest bet on the board. It's minus 120 at most shops. I would still play it there, but that would be kind of my cutoff if you can get on the under 7.5 minus 120. Lynn has been pretty impressive so far this year. 3.6 Sierra. Low hard contact rate. He has almost about 15% infield pop-up rate, missing bats, not walking anyone. His WOBA against at home is 200. Glass now, on the other end, even better. He's pitching like a top 5 guy. He has a 2.5 ERA, 2.8 Sierra, swinging strike rate well above league average. These two bullpens are also pretty decent. Neither offense is super scary. White Sox against righties are not too much. I mean, they are killing lefties, but against righties, it's just average stuff. So yeah, and there won't be such big heat today in Chicago. This stadium is not super crazy for offense, so it's not like really helping the bats. So I think everything is really just set up well for an under here. These are two really good arms. Neither of these offenses are really scary. The bullpens can back them up. The stadium is fine. It won't be like 90 degrees or anything crazy. So yeah, I think this will close at 7 even money likely, or 7 slightly juiced to the under. I think that would be more realistic. I know that we have seen way more offense lately due to the heat and the league just killing the guys tampering with the baseball. But I don't think either of these guys will fall off a cliff. The recent starts have been very strong. So I believe in both in Glasnow and Lynn. I think the pick'em game also makes sense. I would lean towards Tampa Bay, but the under is the way better play than a side here. Detroit at KC, Boyd, Keller. I'm leaning towards Boyd here. I really like what he has been doing recently. Last outing, 6 innings, no earned runs. Royals against lefties, only a 92 WRC plus, so well below league average. Boyd has a 3.5 ERA, 4.6 Sierra. He's due for some regression, but he doesn't give up too much hard contact, 30%. Has a high infield pop-up rate, is missing bats. Keller, on the other end, is really a wild card. His velocity is up like 2 miles per hour on his fastball, but he cannot really command it. He has a walk rate above 10%. He walked 4 guys in the last start. So yeah, not missing as many bats and walking guys. I don't think he can really control this newfound velocity that well. Obviously, long term, I think Keller is likely the better pitcher than Boyd, or at least it's close. KC is the better team. I agree with the line. I make it minus 138. So I even show a slight value, my numbers on KC, but I'm not going to get involved here. Miami at St. Louis, Garrett at Wainwright. Braxton Garrett, Miami's number 7 prospect, making his third start, even 3 innings and 4 innings in the first 2. 80% contact rate. Lefties are getting to him. His swinging strike rate is well below league average. I think the Cardinals will be pretty big favorites here, especially knowing that Wainwright has been pitching well. He is still not missing too many bats, has a high contact rate, but he knows how to pitch the contact. He's not walking anyone. Hard contact rate, 31%. He has a high ground ball rate. So like Wainwright is really just a trustworthy guy. You know what you get. He's not going to like post like 10 strikeout games, but it's really difficult to hurt him. I think the game is off the board right now, but I think this minus 150-ish range is realistic, and I don't expect to find any edge here. San Diego at Colorado, Dinelson Lamet, Austin Gomber. I really like both arms here. If this was in San Diego, I would likely bet the under, but I'm not really betting unders in Coors Field. Plus, the line already moved. This total was 11.5. We are down to 11. I think that's completely fair. Lamet went finally 5 innings in the last outing. The Padres are still stretching him out. I think what we see from him, I mean, it's extremely impressive. He has a 66% contact rate this year, almost a 17% swinging strike rate. And I think his style fits Coors Field well, as he's not allowing any contact. So if you're missing bats, that's really good at Coors Field. I mean, if you allow too much contact, it doesn't matter that you are usually forcing soft contact. I mean, if you allow contact at Coors Field, the balls just fly out of the park. So I like to back guys who are missing bets here. But yeah, minus 160 on the road is a bit too steep. I make it minus 153. So yeah, the Padres are a bit overpriced. But Gomber is not the guy I want to overlook. He has been really solid lately. 5 innings, 1 earned in the last outing against Miami. He has a sub-4 ERA and a sub-4 Sierra. Swinging strike rate, ground ball rate, all a bit above league average. He has been pitching very well at home. So yeah, the under would be my lean, but I'm not going to go there just because it's Colorado. Their bullpen is really bad also. But yeah, I think this could be an unlikely pitching battle. LA Angels, Oakland, Bundy, Manea. Bundy has been falling off a cliff recently. Yeah, this is a guy that's likely have been using something to get a better spin rate. His velocity is also dropped lately. He allowed 8 home runs in the last 4 outings, lots of walks. He has a 5+ FIP in 4 straight games. Oakland was his last out. No, it wasn't his last outing, but he pitched against them just a few weeks ago. So, making his second start against Oakland in the first game, he went just 2 innings, gave up 4 earned. As I said, his velocity is down, spin rates are down, and that's why Oakland is overpriced here. Normally, if this was like peak Bundy, would be like Oakland -130, but they are -160. So yeah, I think Bundy can be done here. We will see. And Sean Manaea has been amazing. Coming off a 6 inning outing, no earned runs. He threw 111 pitches. Everything is super solid for Manaea across the board. I really like him. Super trustworthy guy. So yeah, early money has been coming in on the Angels. I think if you just model and you don't look at like what's going on the field, you would probably have to bet the Angels blindly. But this is really a bad spot, and I don't think they will win this game. Arizona, San Francisco, Peacock, Wood. Wood is the other guy that has been the biggest likely suspect in this pinch tempering thing. And he gave up 15 earned runs in just the last 3 games. So yeah, everything is falling apart around Alex Wood. He gained a lot of spin rate through the offseason. Looked like a real ace coming out the gates, but I think what he has been using isn't available for him to use anymore. And he was a sticky ball guy, and yeah, I'm expecting some bad stuff to happen to him. And yeah, laying -200 is a big no-no. Peacock is bad. 7% swinging strike rate for the Arizona starter. 83% contact rate. He's an extreme ground ball guy. 62% ground ball rate so far, but. I mean, the Giants are still a legit offense, and this guy isn't any good. So we are just skipping this one, but it's important to talk about not laying -200s with Alex Wood. Philadelphia, LA Dodgers, Howard Gonsolin. Gonsolin's second start in the first outing, he couldn't get out of the second inning. He threw 60 pitches, 5 outs. The swinging strike rate was almost 14%. He has a 67% ground ball rate. Flashes of brilliance for sure, and this guy is really talented. But I mean, coming off such a bad outing as his first start, you cannot play -170 with him. Spencer Howard, 3 starts in the MLB, 2 for 3 innings. He won't go deep. Has a 17% walk rate so far. Extremely lucky, 0% home run to fly ball ratio. But this price is really extreme. I think there is some value on Philly here. I'm high on Gonsolin, I'm high on LA, but I mean, laying this price seems a bit too crazy for me. I make this -156, so not enough value on Philly to back them, but it's an interesting game. I would stay away, watch Gonsolin for a few more games. I think he will likely figure it out. Minnesota, Seattle, Kenta Maeda, Marco Gonzalez. Maeda coming off almost a month layoff. He had an arm injury. Underlying metrics were really good for him, but something was off, likely the injury. But he's missing bats, not walking anyone. Heart hit rate is pretty decent as well. Tigers, the Mariners, sorry, are not an offense you are afraid of. Marco Gonzalez coming off 4 inning outing against the Tigers, 4 earned runs allowed. He has really like one good start, one bad start, alternating, so this should be a good start, but just an 8% swinging strike rate. He gives up almost 40% hard contact. His stats against righties are really bad. FIP above 6. His WOBA is above 400 against righties. Twins are one of the top teams in Team X WOBA. They hold a 112 WRC plus against lefties, almost a 200 ISO. So yeah, Maeda only pitched 4 innings in his rehab start. I don't think he will go deep. I had to factor that in, but I think we are nearing territory where there is value on Minnesota. I make it -115. At -110, I would be backing them, but we've seen Seattle money early. This was down to minus 122. I think that was the lowest spot we've seen so far. But if the Seattle money continues to come in on Pinnacle, I will be fading that. Especially that Henniger underwent X-rays last night. He had to leave the game, likely not playing today. And I think Maeda will be fine even if he just goes 4 or 5 innings. Twins way better team. Value territory on Minnesota. All right, let's sum up the MLB slate. So Mets game off the board. I make Peters on minus 127. I think this will be a bet for us. I'm expecting this to reopen closer. Cleveland against Creamer. I think we will see something around minus 150. I'm fine with that. Not running to the window to back him here. We've bet the under in the White Sox game. I think both Glasnow and Lynn are super solid. 7.5 are going away, but I would still bet at 7.5 under minus 120 or better. St. Louis is likely opening up in the minus 150 range. I'm fine with that. San Francisco off the board, but as I said, Alex would huge question mark going forward. So skip that and monitor the Minnesota game. I think minus 122 is close to being value. We'll see what's happening here. All right, let's talk some NBA. We only have 2 games on the board. Pretty interesting how these 2 series are playing out. So Philadelphia, after a weak first game, are now rolling, and it seems like they are absolutely in control. Game 3, I think, was really interesting. Simmons stepped up offensively big time, scored almost 20 points. Many were kind of waiting for him to just take these open looks when he has a mismatch and use his speed against the bigger guys he goes up against, and his size against the smaller guys. When we are finally seeing that, the stats for Philly have been kind of amazing. Embiid is averaging 35 points on 53% shooting. Harris averaging 21 points on 60% shooting. Now Simmons is stepping up. I think they will be fine. I'm leaning towards Philly here. We've bet them to win the series at minus 120 when they were down 1 game early in the series. Danny Green out for this game already. I wouldn't be surprised that if this wouldn't hurt them. I think they have enough guys that they can plug in. We've seen like Thibault helping Simmons defensively a lot. In the last game, Korkmaz stepped up. In game 2, we had Shake Milton with the big game. I wouldn't expect the bench just to come through offensively all the time, but I think if the big 3 is rolling like this, they just don't need too much from anyone else, and I'm not worried for Philly. The only point where I would be worried for Philly if Embiid does something like this. These injury scares have been pretty ugly. I think everyone is really afraid if he will aggravate his injury or what. But otherwise, I think they will be rolling. Way better size, way better defense. Ball movement is great. Embiid is really comfortable even when he's doubled. I think he knows how to just handle the double team. Everything was really impressive from him. He's hitting the free throws, knows how to draw the fouls when he's double teamed. And I think with Simmons and Thibault primarily defending Trae Young, this really is a series for Philly to lose, and I don't think they will. I think Philly takes this one. Philly likely covers this one. Pinnacle is leaning towards 4 almost. 3.5 is getting juiced to the Philly side. If you can get these 3s that are still out on Bet365 and bookmakers should have a flat 3. I think that's a really good bet. I just don't see anything Atlanta could really do here unless Embiid gets injured. and this price will get out of hand when this series goes back to Philly. So if you don't have a series ticket on Philly, this is the spot to back them, as you won't be able to back them at home when they are laying a lot of points. So yeah, bet Philly at -3, I think. At 3.5, especially if it's juiced, I would probably lay off. Next game, Utah LA Clippers, 5 point spread. Yeah, it's interesting, and it's leaning towards the Clippers. I'm not fully sold on that yet. So we had this is it was a really shocking stat that this is the fifth game we've seen with both Leonard and Paul George scoring above 30 points. So this only happened 4 times before the last game, and obviously it was a blowout W for the Clippers, but I wouldn't be banking on that happening again. I mean, both Leonard and George having a really outstanding game side by side. That almost never happens for them. Jazz had more turnovers than they had assists, which is another thing that's not likely happening again. Jazz got also out rebounded. So yeah, a bunch of stuff were really going Phillies way here, and Clippers way here. And while I said coming to LA that this series is not over, I'm not writing the Clippers off. I think they will win one and maybe even 2 games. But I think if this turns to like 5.5, I mean, that's just insane. I have a Utah ticket to win it all, so I'm not going to get involved with the game. But I mean, they shot 50% from the paint in the last game. Utah. I mean, that's extremely low. From mid range, they shot 20%. How can you expect that to repeat? I don't think it will. Conley is questionable. Even if he's back, he won't be 100%, but I hope that he is back and that can at least just help the team a bit. But overall, I think these were terrible shooting games from the supporting cast from Utah. Mitchell was still playing fine. But I don't think we will see another like this bad game like from Bogdanovic, and really no one really stepped up enough to help Mitchell. So yeah, I'm expecting the Jazz to at least cover. They could lose the game, but I think this will be close, not a blowout. I don't think we will see back-to-back games with both the two Clipper stars stepping up this big time, and this was really just an off night across the board for Utah, and I don't think it will happen again to this degree. I still could see Clippers winning. I'm leaning towards them winning, of course, but 5 points, in my opinion, is a bit too much. I don't think you can take away too much from the game 3 as the Clippers had such a bad night. All right, thanks for tuning in. We got this done in 30 minutes. I will be back tomorrow at the same time. Good luck with your wagers, and if you want to tear mine, you know where to go. I see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.